Hi there, backseaters. It's Undersheriff Mike Martin, and I'm driving through a bombed out airfield. Oh, wait, no, this is a city street in the city of St. Paul. And we are live on patrol for Monday. And I'm by myself today because the CAT team is working on something really important right now, and we may hook up with them once they get some of the preliminary work done. But we're in St. Paul. Hopefully everyone survived St. Patrick's Day. As you all may know, especially if you're from Minnesota or the city of St. Paul, St. Patrick's Day is a huge holiday in the city of St. Paul. There's parades and events, parties, and there sure enough was a good time had by all this last week, and especially this last weekend. I was fortunate enough to be able to attend the Worst Irish Tenor contest at Mancini's, and I can tell you that really there was only one thing missing, and that was earplugs. It was pretty bad how some of them sing. I don't know how you could possibly sing that bad. I'm a horrible singer, but I don't think I would have even rated in this. Then on Friday night, I was at Mancini's again. Thank you to everyone who took the time to say hi, and I posed for pictures with some folks that wanted them. I don't know if they hang them in their house to scare away the mice and the rats or what, but there were some people that actually wanted my photo, so it was fun to get that. And one individual, I'm not going to front him out because I don't know if he would want me to, but someone who's very famous in Minnesota and actually in the hockey community across the country asked me for a picture of me because he was a fan of Live on Patrol, and that's when I was very surprised and humbled to be able to get a picture with this gentleman, and the fact that he just took the time to talk to me. So we're in downtown St. Paul. We're going by the iconic Mickey's Diner. For those of you who are familiar with it, at 7th and St. Peter. It's back open for business, but I don't know what the hours are. For those of you who haven't seen our educational program before, this is Live on Patrol. You're in the capital city of the state of Minnesota in St. Paul, and we're in Ramsey County. Stand by for just a second, I gotta mute you. All right, sorry about that. I had to mute quick and take a call from Sergeant Mike Servatka, who is back at the office leading the CAT troops in the thing they're working on right now, and he just wanted to give me a little update. So I'm sitting at 7th and Kellogg, We're going to drive down West 7th here and then go over to the west side for a minute. You're in the capital city of St. Paul in Minnesota and Ramsey County. Our sheriff in Ramsey County is Bob Fletcher, and about 2 years ago, after the death of George Floyd and a lot of the civil unrest, he really wanted people to have an opportunity to get to know the deputies that were working in the sheriff's office and see what we do on a regular day. And so he started riding around first by himself and talking about what we do and what's important to us in Ramsey County. And then his partner Pat Scott joined him, who they both had long careers with the City of St. Paul Police Department, and then with the sheriff came over to Ramsey County when he was elected, and Pat came over as a crime analyst and then deputy, and is in our intel unit because he has such great insight into crime and the City of St. Paul. And I'm an undersheriff. I'm in charge of the Regional Services Division. Every once in a while you'll hear me shut up so that you can hear the radio, or I can read a text or something without having to mute you. So we're going to go across what's known as the High Bridge at Smith Avenue over onto the west side of the City of St. Paul. You may be able to see why it's called the High Bridge here in a minute, but it's goes over the Mississippi River from downtown St. Paul, and it's magic. You cross over to the south, but you end up on the west side. I don't know how that is, but it's magic. I talk about it a lot because it blows my mind, but it's actually the west side of the Mississippi River, which curves right here. And so back in when the City of St. Paul was young, they called this the west side because it was the west side of the Mississippi River. I'm an undersheriff, which would be probably comparable to a deputy chief in a police department. There's the sheriff, Bob Fletcher, and our chief deputy is Dave Methusalem. And then there are 5 undersheriffs who oversee different divisions within the sheriff's office. I oversee regional services, which includes the CAT team, the Intel team, SWAT team, the Violent Crime Enforcement team, our Central Investigations, and our Digital Forensics and Evidence, and our Mobile Response Team, which is a team that responds to civil unrest or special events to provide a little extra security or presence if needed. So a lot of times we'll go work protests at the state capitol or the governor's residence, or you name it, or assist smaller agencies. We're on the east side or west side of St. Paul, and I'm gonna drive by some addresses where we've recovered stolen vehicles, just see if there are any over here. And it looks like all the cars here that I can see are ones that we have we know belong here.
New message. New message. New message.
So I'm going to switch the radio frequencies I'm monitoring here for a second because I want to make sure you get to hear all the good stuff. And I'm on the wrong area for that. All right. So now we're monitoring the 3 channels that serve Ramsey County proper, the Ramsey West, Ramsey Central, and Ramsey East. I'm also monitoring channels 1, 2, and 3 in the city of St. Paul, and some state channels and some metro-wide channels that if there's a chase or a major incident, those channels would be where police departments and the sheriff's office can talk to each other on a mutual channel. We call it interoperability. So one of the things that is really important to us in law enforcement and emergency services in general is that we be able to communicate with each other. And it used to be everybody had their own radio channels and we couldn't talk to each other except in really unique circumstances. And about probably 2004 or 5, we went to all 800 megahertz radios in the state of Minnesota, which allows us all to talk to each other on mutual channels and create talk groups. And that was a huge benefit when the 35W bridge over the Mississippi collapsed. It allowed us to I was a Minneapolis cop at the time, Minneapolis PD, before I came over here to the sheriff's office. And I was able to over there talk to state far northern Minnesota who'd been sent down to assist us, and to St. Paul and Bloomington and Hennepin County, and we were all able to get on mutual, so which was a key to our success in handling that. about 35, and which for us is a good day.
Maplewood Club says on a welfare check at Aldi's, 3,000 white bear. One of the managers says they have a male in the bathroom for the last hour that's been loudly vomiting and refusing to come out.
So you heard that call at Aldi's in Maplewood. We're a long ways off from there. It's kind of in the northeastern part of the county. They have their own police department, the Maplewood PD. Do a great job. There's a male in the bathroom at the Aldi grocery store who is apparently, sounds like he's vomiting and doesn't want to come out, so he may be intoxicated. Oftentimes people will go into public restrooms to use drugs. So they'll get there and assess the situation. So we're on Plato at Wabasha. We're going to go north on Wabasha, back into downtown St. Paul, and then pass through over to the east side. Try to find some action.
You can check your laptop. 9270 is looking for a phone call. Partner sent you his number. Yep.
I appreciate you all coming out and riding along. If you haven't shared this Facebook feed or on YouTube, please share it with your friends. The more people we can get watching, the better. And the whole point is to show you what we do, what an average deputy or an officer does the majority of their time. If I thought you would have been interested, I could have brought you along on the meetings I attended this morning, and you could have sat there and taken notes, but I don't think I'd have had very many viewers. But we had some great meetings. We weekly have a meeting with the command staff from the sheriff's office where we talk about our priorities and making sure we're all on the same page and moving forward. We talk about personnel issues and, things that we're going to be doing over the next week. And it's helpful to get us all, so we're all singing from the same sheet of music. And then I had another meeting this morning with our head of our community corrections and some of our mental health folks and child protection folks to talk about how we can better serve the youth that we're dealing with over and over again. And we'd ask them for a little bit more information on where we can plug kids in if they need help.
QA 1637.
Sometimes we interact with kids frequently, and we see there's some obvious gaps in their lives, whether it's mental health issues or not being in school, chemical dependency issues, abuse issues, whatever it is. And we try to get those young folks tied into resources to get them on a better path. And this was a preliminary meeting just to talk about how we do that. And we have some great partners that help us, and we're looking to them for ideas, and they're looking to us for identifying where they might have some gaps in service as well. And so as much as the meeting's not too exciting, it's important stuff. Also, if you go to the Live on Patrol Facebook page, and I don't know if it's on YouTube, I don't think it is, but we have a contest going on to nominate your favorite worst pothole in Ramsey County. And I know I have my favorite, which my wife and I had to warn our kids to avoid close to our house, so that they don't bend a wheel or break the frame on their cars. So feel free to nominate your favorite pothole, or it could be one that you've seen us hit when we're out here.
What color was the shirt?
I know Rice Street is one of my the places where I hate the potholes the most. But let us know what's on your mind.
Tommy, the same person would be wearing a white t-shirt with Tommy Hilfiger logo in the middle, gray jeans, walking with a limp. That's 1640.
So we're on Mounds Boulevard, or we're approaching Mounds Boulevard here on 3rd Street, and then we're going to cut over.
45 for clear report. 1640.
Mike Martin. Hello.
Hi, Mike.
Oh. Hey, Jeremy,
Mike, it's
I
me,
can't
Jeremy.
talk. I'm live.
Oh,
Oops. One of our backseaters called me. Jeremy. He's probably checking on me to see I wasn't feeling well last Thursday, and
I think Andrew's back at the launch.
talked to him, so
squad for transport, and then you guys can come back and then pick up K9.
we had a incident earlier just before we came on where a man was breaking into someone's house and got scared off and White Bear Lake, and then fled from the house across the frozen lake to an island on the lake. And our water patrol responded along with our deputies and brought their airboat because the ice is no longer strong enough to trust it to drive a vehicle out there. And it sounds like they just got that individual in custody and are bringing them back to shore. This time of year when the ice starts to break up, or in the fall and early winter when it's still freezing. Oh. I don't know if you saw this lady throw her garbage out the window of her car, but we're going to stop her. She just threw her fast food stuff out the window of her car.
Yeah, Maplewood's going to assist 3001 White Bear. Covers a electronics store. 89 added a comment that it's the old Sears store. Any updates from the comp or anything?
Negative.
You were code for.
Sorry.
Juliet with Tango.
Squad to assist Randolph and Bay on a man down at the bus stop. Transit said they don't have any squads to respond.
Juliet with Tango, copy.
278 Tango, we'll go with. 678 Tango, copy. 529.
6.
13. Squad 142. 142. Squad 149 Tango.
149 Tango.
Squad 153.
Copy. No gun was seen, correct?
I don't believe so. He stated he had a gun in the restroom with him. It's a black male in his 30s, 5'6", thin build, white shirt.
Well, the shot call.
I can receive.
Probation 958.
Probation 958.
1205 Junction Avenue, Maplewood.
Yeah, 1645.
And this Central Channel 1 will be calling Central DOT of Channel number 1, Squad 230.
30.
Squad 233. Squad 234 Tango.
2 Tango.
Squad 245. Squad 247. Squad 248 Tango.
240 Tango.
Squad 256.
256.
Looking for Squad 245.
Well,
Squad 246.
this young lady did not impress me
Squad, you guys have a good night as well. Just
at all. So she's going to get a ticket for littering, which will be a $700 fine, because I asked her why she threw her garbage out the window,
New
and
message.
she said because she doesn't
New
care.
message. New message.
And I'm not surprised.
Receive.
So I am going
For Squad
to
responding to you, the staff's going to try to wave you
run
guys
her
down
here.
closer to the restroom.
gonna run her for warrants
New
here.
message. New message. New message.
Squad 180. Squad back of 180 from the care center of 1415 Alvin Avenue, unit 122, Prismatic for 1045. Copies. Squad the back of 180 for 1045.
6012.
Are you looking for a 60?
226012.
So I explained to her that I was going to mail her a ticket, and because I don't want to keep blocking this.
When he was grabbing it.
2260, I thought it was on 2 district.
This young man has a question, apparently.
2260 on 2.
Hold on just a
He
second.
checked the floor where Norm was sitting with Apache and kind of down that passenger side of the boat. Don't think he lost his personal
Yeah, I'm on live right now.
How you doing today, man?
Good, how are you? What's your name?
My name is Alan.
Alan, how you doing?
I applied as a correctional officer with the Ramsey County. I have an interest running in law enforcement.
Oh, good.
So I have a question for you. So,
Awesome.
Do you guys do ride-alongs right now?
Well, we don't normally in these cars just
No,
because
just as a
we're
patrol.
live.
No, like for the regular.
Patrol well. Just at the patrol station up in Arden Hills.
And so how do I get a ride-along?
Just call up there. Just
you know
call
who would
up
be?
there.
John Hankey said you have to do it. What I forgot what time, but like, do you know what time you guys would probably do it?
Doesn't matter. I think you can do it on pretty much any shift.
So do I call the sergeant like later?
Yeah, just call. I would call during the day and ask the commander,
Who's the commander of the?
Mike Hankey.
Mike Hankey. Okay, so
Yep.
he'd be the one. Okay.
Yep.
He directed me to him. So
Okay.
they set up ride-alongs.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay,
Nice
all
to
right,
meet
well,
you.
nice to
Have a
meet you.
good one. Interesting.
Their county spot they can start for a medical in Little Canada, Cardigan Ridge, get room 1.
So anyway, I think I was explaining that I'm going to mail a ticket to that lady so that we're not sitting there blocking traffic while I enter all her info and printing out the ticket, but that was a pretty blatant violation. So, and then we got to meet Alan there, who said he wants to be a CO or corrections officer, which is awesome. We're pretty often hiring corrections officers because a lot of the people that we want to be police officers start out as corrections officers, and then they get promoted to be deputies, and then we need to backfill them. So anyway, this young lady. Anyway, I was not super happy with her attitude, the driver who threw the garbage out, but she did tell me she was going to come back and pick up her garbage, so that's a positive thing. It looks like she did.
She was asking for CSS responsibility.
45 over 47.
I got you.
I don't have a very high tolerance for people who litter in our cities, and because it sends a message when there's litter and garbage out that people don't care, and therefore it invites other problems and disorder in the neighborhood. And someone's got to pick it up, and so I'm not a big one for writing tickets, but that's one I'm willing to do, especially after she told me she just didn't care. and I tried to get her to have some kind of remorse, and she didn't at all. Her only remorse was that I stopped her.
6 will be room 126. 126.
Going on the 1900.
And based on her date of birth, she's 33 years old. So it's not like she's some little kid who isn't thinking or being stupid. She's a grown woman who should know better. So looks like Rocky running down the street throwing punches there. Might need to recruit him to ride along with me just in case we get in a fight. So we're northbound on Arcade. On the east side of St. Paul.
Maybe GOA. Yeah, that'd be 6 still.
A lot of people with dogs riding on their laps today. I don't know. My dog's too hyper for that. I have 2 dogs, and they're both too hyper to sit on your lap while you're driving.
Copy. 2365. Polarized, but DNR, DNI.
Plus, I just love driving down Arcade.
You can see me then.
So I want to welcome all of our friends from other parts of the country, trees in the world, and all basically have to account a little over half the population. Our county's about 500,000 people. And we sit right across the Mississippi River from the city of Minneapolis and Hennepin County.
Probation 958.
Probation 958.
Clear 1205 Junction Avenue.
Copy 1660.
Same traffic.
We are eastbound on Maryland at Forest. We're going to head over to the further east side of the city of St. Paul and then maybe go up north into the city of Maplewood. Saturday night I was up there at the Myth nightclub in Maplewood for the Hairball show. If you aren't from this area, Hairball is a band that basically recreates rock bands from the 70s, 70s, 80s, 90s, mostly hard rock, and it's just a tremendous show if you ever get an opportunity to see Hairball. And this was their anniversary show. I think it was 25th anniversary, maybe 35th, but great show.
2362 traffic. 2362. Highway 96, Highland Boulevard. Boyd George King, 553.
It's been very busy the last, since end of last week. There have been a number of carjackings. One group of them that was related, a car was carjacked in the city of Minneapolis. Then they used that car to come over to St. Paul and do another gunpoint. And they dumped the Minneapolis car and then would then carry the apprehension, and just great communication between our intel staff, St. Paul, their gang unit, and their intel staff, as well as the Woodbury PD. Were able to identify the suspects, and just makes it a lot easier when you know who the bad guys are because of experience that you have. Looks like Dairy Queen's open for business again. Generally, the Dairy Queens here will close down during the winter months, with the exception of the ones that have restaurants inside. And then they reopen when it starts to get warmer. So that's a sign of spring, a lot like the robins returning. Or for those of you in California, the swallows at Capistrano, San Juan Capistrano.
364.
Don't ask me how I know that.
364.
You do an area check, 1025 York, for two people that were illegally dumping the address, or the rear of the address, in a white van. November Alpha Lima 096.
So we are starting to deal with, there's always a little bit of an uptick in crime when it starts to get warm out again, and then of course when it gets really warm, we generally have our highest crime times. But we get, this time of year, you get kids that are a little stir crazy in school, wanting to get out, and they skip school and commit crimes and steal cars and do shoplifting and stuff. And so we always anticipate that. It's a little more difficult now because we don't have, St. Paul does not have school resource officers in their schools. It was a political decision made a year ago, and it's led to a lot of issues in the suburban areas of Ramsey County. We do have school resource officers. I think there are 15 or 16 in the suburban areas, and the kids in the city don't enjoy that benefit. Going north now on White Bear Avenue. We're still in the city of St. Paul, but we'll soon be in the city of Maplewood.
That's required. Yes, I mean that accident.
Yeah, man. Maybe 30 row people.
don't forget to post your favorite, well, or least favorite potholes. And put the location of where it is and why it's your favorite. Maybe because it would fit a Volkswagen Bug, or because it's like a ravine or something. I saw somebody posted on over the weekend. I was looking at, I think it was on Facebook, a pothole repair thing that you could buy, but I'm not really confident. It didn't look like something that would actually work. I'm kind of a skeptic on stuff like that. We're going north on White Bear. We're passing the Unison. I think you've seen that probably on when Pat and Bob have been out live on Friday nights and Aldrich Arena. Where the state, I think the quarterfinals were played there at Aldrich Arena, and for hockey. Whoever, somebody posted that pothole stuff looked like roll roofing. Yes, it does. That's why I was a little skeptical of it, because of some of the potholes that we have here and the way they expand and contract. But that's not my job. Oh, some little kids just came out of their house and were waving at me. I am gonna turn around and go back and see those kids. They must have been watching us and saw me coming this way. So kids, if you're watching, go back outside, because I'm gonna come and visit you.
138, I guess. I don't have a map in front of me.
It's gonna be for Highland, Michael Highland, 138.
I'll check it, I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
A lot of kids now are on spring break. I don't know if, I couldn't really tell if these kids were old enough to be in school, but I know a lot of kids are on spring break, or they're just getting home. Oh yeah, it's 5 o'clock at night. Jeez, they're not in school anymore. I'm having so much fun, I lost track of time. Figure out how I get in there, but I'll bet I do. That's the beauty of GPS. So we're gonna go say hi to these kids quick. Maybe they'll tell us where some bad guys are hiding.
For Spanish speaking officer, channel 1.
876.
It's gonna be 176, I'm gonna keep a call and pending for you for a second moment.
Aha, I found him. What's going on, guys? How are you? Did you see me coming up the street? That's awesome. Did you have school today?
Thank you,
Yeah.
Central and West.
Where do you go to school? Where do you go to school? Oh, okay, cool. Were your dogs watching too? Were the dogs watching? Well, good. Good. Well, thanks for waving at me. I barely saw you out of the corner of my eye. Oh, well, now I know to look this way. So, thanks. Have a good day. Bye. Cute little kids. It's always nice to see young kids waving with all 5 fingers. We used to laugh about that when I was a young copper, about people, and we forget about all the good people that support us, that are appreciative of what we do. Unfortunately, we generally interact with people on the worst day of their lives, or one of the worst days of their lives, so we don't always get to see the good side of people, and it helps to have folks that wave and are appreciative and come out and express their gratitude to us. Is nice. Someone said I need to carry some of the junior deputy stickers. You know what? When we worked the state fair last year, we literally went through all of them that we had, and I know they were having trouble reordering them. I don't know if they have yet. I haven't seen them yet, but they are kind of nice. Kids like them. I'm not sure the people at the fair were super excited about finding badge stickers stuck on things all over the fairgrounds, but we used to, when I was a Minneapolis cop, we had baseball cards that we would give out, and the twins would deliver them to us every year. We'd have just massive amounts of baseball cards to give out, and kids would always ask for baseball cards. They're probably collector's items now. So now we're back northbound on White Bear Avenue. Like I said, Maplewood has their own police department. I don't know how many officers they have, but their chief is a great guy, and they run a very professional organization. We've stolen a couple of their cops to come work for us recently, but it's because they hire them well, they train them well. Chief Beardeman does a really good job up there. Saw a lady that just threw something over onto the side of the road. I don't know if she just saw some debris and picked it up in the crosswalk and was throwing it. Looks like maybe that's the case. It's just preventing someone from getting a flat tire. It's the kind of citizen that I like. Because I guarantee you, if I was in my personal vehicle, I would find that piece of debris and get a flat tire.
45, 611. Yeah.
funny how, as I drive around, I remember incidents that have occurred at locations, and it pops in my mind. There's a church back here where there was a funeral for someone who was a gang member, and there was some talk on social media about someone shooting up the funeral, so we came up here and sat on the funeral at the request of the family, just to make sure everybody was safe and look for just being item present.
Go check the area. Email driver, black passenger.
I drive by CC Military Surplus, and when we had our extremely cold ride,
And we'll play when we're ready.
right now there's a little bit of a lull in radio traffic, but I guarantee you that will pick up because of how warm it is, how nice it is right now outside.
This road.
We're on White Bear Avenue North at Beam.
Yeah, B176, 376, Cleveland Avenue North. 48, that's from Otto. That occurred while Saturday, Sunday, 1517.
Squad 531, change it. 5281, can you please sign me out? Good.
So one of the biggest issues that we're facing right now is hiring and retention, getting good people to apply for our jobs as deputies and corrections officers, and then being able to retain them. We have competitive wages, but a lot of agencies now are offering hiring incentives or longevity incentives. So if you stick around for a year after they hire you, you get $5,000, or you get $5,000 when you sign on with them, or you those type of things, and it makes it a little harder for us to recruit and to make sure we retain the good folks that we do have. But the main reason why we get applicants and we get people sticking around is because they love working for the sheriff. Our sheriff's a great guy to work for. He's got a good heart. He wants to serve the community. He understands that policing is about more than law enforcement and locking people up. It's about helping people and getting them on the right path. I'm going to go check out a hotel here, parking lot, where we recover a lot of stolens, and there's a lot of narcotics activity.
So the car in their current call is an unreported stolen 4 hours ago. Earlier it was tracking to 69 Maryland, now it's tracking to Maryland Frank. They're gonna make their way there. Someone finds someone walking the area. Between Asian male driver, ski mask, and a black metal passenger.
Okay, unreported stolen 2 hours ago. Currently taking to Maryland and Frank. Asian male driver with a ski mask. Passenger black mask.
8296. Right. So it's clear, so there's 3.1 pending. Then I'll call the cop back.
always interesting how you remember what cars belong at places that are always there and what ones
4190 clear.
don't belong.
Yeah.
Just so you know, if you hear all those beeps and weird noises, it's literally intelligence coming in
We need to change get that phone call.
every time that beep happens.
Let them beep, whatever.
Sorry if you want to be involved in the science review.
Proceed. And the parties are going to be one black
So
female
I'm
with
quick
two black
catching
males,
up on
all
stuff
walking
coming
towards the
out.
Central station. They think that the female may be injured.
Good proof for stop 6 until we find it.
Alright.
Union call right now.
So I go through the intel and look quick, and sometimes it's cars that have been recently stolen, or people that are wanted, or just information that a person we're looking for might be in a certain area. And so
5022. Three 6-1.
Can you check if the helicopter is available? Just in case it needs, they can check.
Will do.
So St. Paul has a stolen car that they're aware of as in a specific area, and I don't know how they know that, but they are in that area, and they just asked about whether or not the State Patrol helicopter was available, which provides them the ability to track the car if it leaves or flees without having to engage in a pursuit that can be risky, especially this time of day when people are still out and about. Did I sound like I'm from Minnesota? They're out in a boat. Every once in a while I catch myself doing that.
Okay.
On that theft from auto experience fitness, did you write a report on that? Got it. Affirmative. Tom's called back. Track that was 3 on the first call.
So we're southbound on South Lawn Drive in the city of Maplewood. Just kind of did a little...
Sorry, York and Duluth. Sorry, York and Frank. Just the car, I think the male ran northbound.
Copy York and Frank, male ran northbound.
So they found the car,
Male ran northbound.
and the male ran from the car northbound. We're long ways off, so I'm not gonna run code 3 to get there, just for safety reasons. But
Yeah, he was inside the building.
St. Paul's got a lot of...
Copy. Everybody come to 1116. Sim's here. He's in the apartment complex.
So they got him in an apartment
Female,
complex, and
Empire
I'm gonna shut up here for a minute and let you listen to how well they coordinate the search for this gentleman.
525. Just be advised that the female victim was seen that she was threatened with a knife. So squads just be advised.
Copy. .45 before arriving, any mileage 87.1.
Be advised.
Driver's in custody.
Driver in custody.
Well, that didn't take much communication. They got him in custody. So, but just a tremendous job. The first squad there, whoever got the intel that the car was in that area, did a great job of relaying it. The troops went there, found the car, saw the guy running, and were able to get him in custody.
5286. Can you log me off? I gotta reset it. Computer's not working. Have it.
Twin Cities metro area, especially St. Paul and Minneapolis,
Cancel the 10-3 for now at 17:20.
but all of our agencies.
You still got your lights on.
Too late. You, please.
Across here rather than going back, and head over more towards the central area of the town.
I got truck caught up here somewhere by Westview Mall here.
Copy somewhere by what?
They came back around McDonald's. He's not all the way to Westview, somewhere in McDonald's. And the Hastings Sergeant asked where he ran from there. Had a bunch of witnesses.
Copy.
Got 544 again.
So that's a
Red sneakers, carrying his coat, black t-shirt, sandy blonde hair.
so what you're hearing now is on a statewide channel. So where they
Sorry, I'm
are.
going to start over. It's going to be 045397.
But this is one of those channels that allow for interoperability. Sounds like it's in a possibly a more rural area where they're talking to each other.
300 Rice Street, 229. FedEx Sharp Route. Pardon. Fell recently.
So we'll see if we hear more from them.
6er Gabby. Give me direction.
South Channel, they're fighting with one at McDonald's and Hastings in front of the Pizza Hut. 1340 South Frontage Road.
Look for now, they got the suspect in custody that they were fighting with. It was in the city of Hastings, which is in Dakota County. I'm going to say a half hour south of the city of St. Paul. And it sounds like it was we're talking to the Hastings PD and maybe Dakota County, and to coordinate to get that suspect in custody.
Code 4, everyone else can slow if not stop. One in custody and we'll break one out back.
Copy, code 4, everyone.
Target 3800 Lexington, Benexar Route, 36 year old female fell out of the vehicle.
So we're going to get off on Rice Street here and go south back down into the city of St. Paul. We're actually in the city of Little Canada right now.
Changing restaurant. 448 University. Vehicle versus parked car 1732.
Little Canada is one of our contract cities where we are the primary provider of police service.
5273.
We have 7 of those.
520 Rice, see the caller, apartment 5. Somebody just tried to enter her apartment. Unknown description, they ran down the stairs when the caller asked who it was.
7218, 7225. $72.55, Hidden Hollow Court.
So I'm getting notices on some stolen cars that are recently stolen. A black Kia Sportage, Edward Henry Adam 120. A white Kia Forte, Dog Frank Tom 618. So as we're out here, we'll be looking for those. We're south on Rice Street from County Road B. On our left-hand side now is the city of Maplewood, and on our right-hand side is the city of Roseville. Both, we already talked about Maplewood. Roseville also has their own police department, full service, handle their own investigations. They have a team that focuses on auto theft as well, and do a great job. Their chief is Erica Scheider.
Copy 175, showing your route. The correction on that is going to be a hold up one. I don't know if it's 564 or not.
464, you can expect me and hold this call for me. I'm almost there. Don't let alarm.
Don't forget, we're having a contest on the Live on Patrol Facebook page to comment about the worst pothole or your favorite pothole in Ramsey County.
Victim is saying the suspect may have a gun in his fanny pack.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Suspect male, tall, dreads, may have a gun in his fanny pack.
Copy, the suspect's 12 male dreads might have a gun in his fanny pack.
So that's a call in downtown St. Paul that sounded out,
175 to 171 Tango.
started out as some type of a disturbance.
There's no emergency. She will meet the officers at the main door. She'll be wearing a gray shirt and jeans.
171 Tango copies. All in there, you can clear that spot.
Okay, I get one.
What's up, what's up?
It's true, but I heard that actually auto manufacturers bring their cars here to Rice Street to test the suspensions and see, you know, what the tolerance level is for their vehicles.
261, so this is 1100 Arundel. The color for his stolen vehicle is showing stationary at the address.
We're going to go over that way if you just heard that call for 1100 Arundel.
398.
Trying to find the actual call here.
398.
It's always nice to be able to assign to the call.
171 male.
171 Tango.
You can put this back in the penny. I'll give her a call.
Alright.
531, take 4. 4.
So we're gonna go to 1100 Arundel and look for a black Kia Sportage.
Squad 185.
26.
Shoulder 10-8. You cancel 175. Copy, safe.
We're on Maryland at Marion right now, going westbound.
One from 5-4.
I'm in the area of 1100 looking for that
Proceed, thank you. 40.
Incident.
60.
One on the street. Oh. I'm gonna see if there's an alley. I don't. There is an alley passable. No. .2007. It's not here, but I will keep checking the area.
Proceed, thank you.
Your incident has been updated.
So the car was stolen from Minneapolis. It looks like there was a little delay in reporting that it was stationary here, so the car must have left the area.
Your incident has been updated.
I am gonna update our intel thread just so people know. If people are coming in the area, they can kind of check as they come in, but don't need to go to the address.
.281 Tango, case number.
281 Tango, case number 0453744.
Copy, thank you. With the Mitsubishi and those black.
Your incident has been updated. New message.
They got the JDC juvenile mail.
1743.
365. 261.
261.
I'm on the phone with cops. Cops
New
that they're
message.
tracking a phone. They're tracking a vehicle to the phone.
Copy, they're tracking a vehicle through the phone. 1744.
I don't see it, and I went around on the next block, and it's not at 444 Maryland, so it's out here somewhere.
Yeah, close by.
Yeah, all right.
Garage.
Yeah, exactly.
365.
All right, so St. Paul officer pulled up,
Whoever requested check, please.
who was coming to the area as well. I'm gonna clear this call as being
361.
GOA and or gone on arrival.
Can you call
And
data regarding your call?
Copy.
1745.
we'll move on. Look for it elsewhere. It's out here. It's rolling around.
168, we're code 4.
Copy, code 4183. I'll show you.
So it
later.
says that the vehicle was being tracked on a phone or some other device that was inside the vehicle. What happens oftentimes is the
123, I'm going to send you over to 912.
Whatever the item is they're tracking is phone or earbuds or iPad or whatever is actually been taken out of the vehicle.
On the board, but you can send me that theft experience. Post 27599.
But we'll keep looking. You never know.
They need somebody to go to that alarm.
Negative. 171 Tango take care of it.
Alright. Pull over and do a little bit on my computer, and now we can go back into service. Boy, that's an old school fire truck. Minnesota, the rust eats up vehicles, so they don't generally last very long, unfortunately. Go south here on Western. Right now we're at Lawson, and we're gonna head into the Frogtown area. This area was a lot busier about a year ago. We had a couple of our prolific auto thieves that were they've since moved on after being arrested, and so it's quieted down. We're not spending as much time over here anymore, but it's still a busy area.
Got it.
So don't forget to nominate your favorite pothole in Ramsey County. Describe where it is and why it's your favorite pothole. Seen several news articles saying this is going to be the worst year ever for potholes. Just because of the fluctuating temperatures that we've had over this winter, there was a lot more expanding and contracting. By the famous Club Holiday at Rice in Pennsylvania.
361, we're up.
1749.
One
175.
I'll take the 911 hang up.
175 copies in the area of 751 Mount Curve, 1750.
advised with
I'm gonna go west here on University from Rice and checking all
Copy.
the.
To assist on 911 in the area of 1016 Alomar, less than 25 meters.
See what we
264 close.
1751.
have going on here. Watching the pending calls and the assigned calls all over the county. That lady looked like she was having a little bit of a
Marshall,
crisis.
285, Yankee Papa uniform, out of Wisconsin.
Marshall and Passport 1752.
Lately, we've seen a few more auto thefts and a carjacking or attempted carjacking down in the Highland neighborhood, which is an area where we don't often see a lot of activity.
Ruth and Wilson with Kilo Golf 400.
So that's been a concern for us.
1752.
If you were live with us, I think it was 2 Fridays ago, we had the attempted carjacking in Highland, then the car came northbound on Snelling, and then it was lost, and then it reappeared involved in an auto theft outside of a restaurant.
Six one, 23.
Proceed.
And there's a parking complaint at 3521 High.
281 Tango.
281 Tango.
Can you change this to a DKP clear assisted and put us on that DOC with 278 Tango?
Proceed.
You know, I'm not a huge college basketball fan, but for some reason I get sucked in for the NCAA tournaments every year, and both the men's and the women's, and so I've been watching a little bit of it. It's amazing to see the skill level of the players and how things are going. I do not bet on it. I do not have a bracket because there's no way I would follow it enough, and I don't know enough about it to be actually laying money on it or putting my reputation on the line. So, but it's just fun to watch good basketball. And I'm not a big fan of the NBA only because they don't seem to hustle up and down the court and play as a team like they do in college. It seems a lot more fun to watch. So if you do have a favorite team, though, on the Final Four, put it in the comments and do the, and whether it's men's or women's, depending on the team, we'd know probably, but let me know. I really think the women's teams have greatly improved. It's dramatically better, I think, than it used to be. The level of talent is unbelievable.
176.
176.
0 over title with 183.
1756.
Complete property, possibly on city property, GOA, and if you could take me off the board on the EOT.
Sir.
So I saw there's a car call pending where we just drove through at Rice and University. Someone was complaining about a male panhandling on Rice Street between University and Como. In Minnesota, it's not illegal to panhandle unless you do it aggressively. If you are threatening people or aggressive, it's called aggressive panhandling, threatening people, blocking their way, blocking their vehicles and stuff, then it would be illegal. And there's some spots where the Department of Transportation owns the property, especially on highway ramps where it's technically illegal, although not enforced a lot. I've told people before that I was in Toronto once, and there the panhandlers were very friendly. And I asked someone, why are they so friendly? And he said, because it's only legal there if you're friendly. So they say thank you and have a nice day and whatever. So I was amazed by that. But there was a guy that was sitting down, and he had a sign that said, kick a bum, $1. Soccer players, $2. And I thought that was hilarious. Although I didn't like him referring to himself as a bum, because nobody's a bum. But the fact that he says soccer players cost twice as much made me laugh. So we're on University. We're at Pascal. Headed westbound. We're right by Allianz Field, the home of the Minnesota United Football Club, also known as the Loons. I'm going to go northbound on Snelling here. From University. This is what's known as Midtown St. Paul. It's called that because it's midway between Minneapolis and St. Paul.
364.
It's a busy area. We're going to drive by Hamlin University. Every time I drive by Hamlin, I look for the monument to Sheriff Fletcher that says Sheriff Fletcher went to school here, played football here, coached football here later in life, but they haven't put it up yet, so it must be in the back room somewhere. Hamlin is one of the more popular
2365 Paris.
higher education schools in the state of Minnesota, as well as in the Twin Cities, and St. Paul's home to a number of them: Hamlin, St. Thomas, St. Kate's, McAllister. If you go north in our county, you got Bethel and Northwestern University, or University of Northwestern, I think it is, so that you don't think it's the one in Chicago or in Illinois. The University of Minnesota is not too far west of here. I went there for my undergraduate degree in economics, and then got my master's from the University of St. Thomas. I have a son that's a freshman there now, although actually right now he's on spring break. I was fortunate enough to go to those two good schools. Trying to explain to some young people in our office the other day how we didn't have computers at all. We had typewriters. If you were lucky, you had your own typewriter. Otherwise, you wrote your papers out by hand. Of course, by the time I went to St. Thomas was pretty far into my career, so I did have a computer.
But he is agitated.
We're passing the fairgrounds on our left-hand side.
And also, he is under the influence. He killed her.
The Minnesota State Fair is, without a doubt, the best state fair in the country. Wisconsin tries, Iowa tries, but they're not even in the same league, in my opinion.
567304.
So, I did go to the Kentucky State Fair once. I went to school at the Southern Police Institute in a postgraduate administrative officers command school, and stayed at the University of Louisville for 3 months. And while I was there, they had the Kentucky State Fair. Interesting affair. Wasn't too bad. The food was decent. But interesting crowd there.
Can you log me out, please?
So we're in the city of Falcon Heights. It is one of our contract cities as well. It's a relatively small city, but it sits at the crossroads between Minneapolis and St. Paul on kind of the north end, and adjacent to the fairgrounds. So it's a busy area. Now we're moving into the city of Roseville. right-hand side is the Harmar Mall. Kind of a locally famous little mall.
Cleared your way, we're good.
9834.
9834.
Can you log me in? Post number is 23910.
Chevy 1807.
9681, clear unbounded.
Chevy 1807.
So I'm looking at, there are a lot of calls that are signed right now, and there's a few pending, but nothing that would warrant our responding or would be interesting.
$39.38. Can you put me on the board? Post 24868.
Chevy 1807.
Snelling is a major north-south route from all the way through the western edge of St. Paul, all the way up into Arden Hills and Shoreview, where we have a patrol station. On our left is Ridgedale, or I'm sorry, I do that all the time, Rosedale Mall. So we're gonna go down here, always a busy place. Unfortunately, anytime you have a mall like this, it's gonna attract some shoplifters and auto thieves and people breaking into cars. And
Somebody at Thomas and Victoria for suspicious. Couple driving in the area and a female was yelling to call 911 and then saw a child running down the street.
that call's a long ways off from where we are. So if you ever get a chance, I highly recommend you try Baldemar Restaurant here in the Rosedale Mall. It's a great restaurant, awesome food, awesome environment in there, ambiance, if you will. The staff are tremendous, great customer service.
Pack full of new clothing, cutting tags off, and other things stolen. Blue jeans, great jeans.
53, you would come.
So a call was just dispatched around here somewhere, but it's not showing up on my screen.
So if you want to say showing the DNA. About 25. So 1848 Thomas Avenue. Supposedly may be related to 176 call over at Thomas and Victoria. So it's going to be a person in crisis with a chaotic background. Calling saying that a 19-year-old brother is threatening to kill himself. We don't know how. They disconnected.
So St. Paul was dispatched to a call for a lady screaming and maybe a little kid running. Then another squad was called for a person in crisis. They're probably related. That is having an episode, so it's a ways off. We won't be going there, but that's what you just heard there. We're just checking on some areas where we have some issues with narcotics activity and stolen vehicles and whatnot, and we'll see if we can locate any. This parking lot is definitely a hot spot for problem activity.
2365.
Next time.
3075 before fires en route for a propane barbecue and wood structure on fire in the backyard.
New message.
Hey, okay.
New message. New message.
I'm showing you right now, seeing at a block 1812.
New message.
So I ran the plate on that BMW, and it's clear. Everything's good. Guessing it's maybe one of the employees here.
3926 and 3930.
Or 926. 68 report for minute.
Cool, another KT13.
Callers requesting a check on an ex named Tua Lai, born in 91. Says that he had sent a suicidal text message to the caller. Should be there home alone and has a history of suicidal threats and attempts.
3926. Apartment number, please.
Apron will be apartment 321, and no weapons and no method was mentioned.
Okay.
Hey. 9170.
We don't have a 7-0 right now. What do you got?
Console 22.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Supervising, I do not have medics started for this call. Please advise those medics are needed.
Copy, was it?
214.
So sorry to be taking you on a ride here, but just checking lots for stolen vehicles that where we've recovered multiple stolen vehicles before. Axel's Steakhouse. Love that place. Great food. Great service.
2365. 175.
175.
If inbounded, we'll take the APD.
Copy, Jefferson and Fairview for the APD 1860.
Jason 9. Looks like it's the house. There's some type of structure now. It's heavy smoke from the base.
176, are you code 4? Here's 176. 1860. For check 158 base, there's a female that looks to be in distress. She's got a bloody hand. She's sitting in front of the address. Asian female in her 40s, heavy build, blue t-shirt, gray jacket. She's got an update that she's northbound base towards Pacific. And
2663, give me a second. I'm not seeing a bit fire also. 2666.
See, I didn't really catch what that last squad was saying, but I'm gonna look and see what they're signed to. Alright, it looks like a assisting fire, which is generally a medical response. We're gonna go east on County Road C from Cleveland here.
41 adult male from the boat launch to the jail.
2363. Go ahead. There's you can answer the fire call on the scene.
171.
Then one thing.
Western and Aurora for PCN. Your comp is on foot. Currently a data section Virginia and Aurora. You found a school vehicle sitting on the street of Western Aurora. Vehicle is unoccupied. License plate of Hotel Romeo 501. 2003 Chevy Trailblazer that's going to be black in color.
So we're in the city of Roseville. We're headed eastbound on County Road C from Fairview.
I'm going to block off south Maplewood.
So our deputy that just called out is out on a fire call where a barbecue has set a wood structure on fire in the backyard of a house.
Is there anything else?
And so the squads will come to help with traffic control.
Receive 405 West Baker 1820.
There's a number of issues that you have to worry about in a fire situation. Got to keep people from running over the fire hoses, which are highly pressurized. You have to keep people from driving into the middle of where the work's being done. You have to worry about gas leaks and getting the electricity turned off. The police don't do that, but that's until it's rendered safe. They'll keep people out of the area. And then obviously if there was some belief that there was arson or some other type of criminal activity, then the police would investigate that. The fire department, in an arson situation, they determine the cause and the origin of the fire. Where did it start and how did it start? And then the police would do the criminal aspect of it, trying to find out who did it and put that case together.
One seven one Tango.
I guess I'm not with the potential suspects. This might be more of a civil issue. You just want to start me another unit.
Can I get another West Coast
A lot of times the police get called to issues that are actually not criminal issues, or they're civil issues. They're disputes between parties that, a breach of contract, or he sold me a car and then he didn't make all the payments, or I'm supposed to be living in the house and he kicked me out of the house or whatever. And those oftentimes turn out to be civil issues that, although they could lead to criminal activity, aren't things that we have jurisdiction over. And basically we try to just keep the peace, give them advice on how they can move forward, and hopefully resolve the situation temporarily with a little education to the individuals. That works sometimes. Other times it just people don't want to accept that something is a civil matter and that we can't arrest people or whatnot. And so it's something that it takes a while to learn as a police officer, kind of what the difference is and how to advise the citizens when that happens. So a good example is a breach of contract. So I tell my next door neighbor that she can drive my car, but has to bring it back in 2 days, and then she doesn't bring it back in 2 days, and people want to report their car stolen, but in reality you gave someone the right to drive your car, and it's become a civil matter of that person breaching the contract that you had with them. There's a process you have to go through to notify them, and you can report it stolen, but likely the person is not going to be charged with stealing your vehicle. Unless there's, I think it's 30 days go by. So rental cars are a good example. When people don't return rental cars, it's basically a breach of contract, and then 30 days later, they can report it as stolen because of demonstrated that your intent was to permanently deprive them of the ownership of that vehicle. So, just so you know, I just on live on patrol and take my butt. Just realize there are some things that you think might be criminal that are actually civil issues.
Maybe intoxicated, black hoodie.
currently out at 3738 Cornell. We're having internet issues on our end.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're still westbound on County Road C, approaching the upper part of Rice here. We've kind of done a little loop around the county, looking for some action.
21829.
Sure.
Haven't found much.
For a black lab that's out in the road.
Yeah, we know.
Let's see where that black
And then you
lab
continue what I told
is.
you. I had logged you off. Can I read your post number?
Whiskey Bravo 139.
It's in White Bear Lake, so it's a long ways off
Yeah,
from
then
us. Otherwise, we'd go there. Nothing more satisfying than saving a dog and returning it to their owner, who's probably looking for it. When people get a chip placed inside their dog, and obviously at the veterinarian, you can they can read the chip. Animal control can read the chip. Shelters can read the chip.
3926.
We also have readers that read the chip on a dog or a cat.
There's
if it's
a
got
phone number in the comments if you end up needing it.
Sorry, if it's got a chip in there. We actually had a case about a year and a half, 2 years ago, where we solved a murder because of the chip in a dog that was wandering around a neighborhood. And I'll try to make this story really short, but officers got called to a dog wandering around a neighborhood, and they were able to go there. We used the chip reader to see that the dog was registered to an owner out of Tennessee. So they looked that owner up in a database that we have for finding people, and they called the number that was in there and spoke to the mother of the dog's owner, who said that it's her son's dog and that he's visiting someone, and they gave the address of where he was visiting the person in Vadnais Heights, when which was only a couple houses away from where they found the dog. And when they went to that address, they found a guy in the garage who was trying to dispose of the dead body of the dog's owner. He had killed the dog's owner, and the dog had gotten out of the house and was laying down in the neighbor's yard. And it was one of the more fascinating homicide scenes I've been to, and I've been to I don't know how many. I mean, in probably 200 or more in my career, and this was one of the more interesting scenes, because the suspect was in a wheelchair, had shot and killed the victim, and was trying to get the victim's body out and out of the house, and basically rolled the victim's body down the stairs, and then was trying to get him into the garage and lift him up with a floor jack to get him into the back of a car, and that he wasn't quite successful in that. So when he came in, the body was on the floor jack, but he couldn't get it up high enough to get it into the back of his car. So very interesting scene. The suspect was arrested and went to jail, was able to get bailed out of jail, and committed suicide. So
Copy that at 1832.
it would probably make a good episode of Forensic Files, or one of those shows where it took a lot of processing of the crime scene by our folks, by the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, to put that case together to determine actually what had occurred. We knew we had the dead body. We knew who the suspect was because he had blood on him, all over him. But how it actually occurred was a whole nother issue. So we're southbound on Rice Street.
Hudson and Wildflower Way. Boy, David Victor, 652.
Don't forget to nominate your favorite pothole. I don't know why Rice Street reminded me of that, but
You're welcome.
couple cute little girls waving at traffic coming by. Remember those days when we were entertained by waving at cars driving by, just staring at the traffic?
286 was started to go down. Not sure the internet. I don't think you're going to get cleared out.
So we're southbound at Cook and Rice. Looks like a busy day for Dar's Double Scoop. If you get a chance, go there. Get some ice cream. It's one of the best ice cream, I don't know what you call it, a cup ice cream or a cone ice cream that you will ever have. Trust me.
Calling it 612-926-1223.
Public Northwest is 2967 Street 8, known as Paul, with a female caller speaking with me.
There's a female reporting she got maced. 296 7th Street, which is downtown.
Go ahead.
There's a new caller who wants to let you know if there might be things.
171. We'll be clear with the morning plan.
You just heard a squad say we'll be clear with the Morgan plan. What the Morgan plan is it's basically shorthand for if people get involved in an accident and there's no criminal activity, it's just a basic accident and it's not too serious. They can just give swap information, insurance, driver's license info about their cars, and then they just self-report it to their insurance companies and there's no need for a report. So I have no idea why they call it the Morgan plan. I'm guessing it was named after an Officer Morgan who didn't want to write a state accident report. But I'm probably wrong.
Can I get a wipe your boss and call data, please?
7-5, I'll call data. 15 minutes. Right. I'm clear up there. Don't need that stuff and all that. Okay. Victor 183. Right. If there's any calls, I can take it. Hirschfield's on motor vehicle theft.
So I'm just checking our intel stuff being sent out, and the CAT team's still super busy working on the project that they're doing before, so we haven't been able to meet up with them, and therefore here I'm gonna probably
New message.
end this broadcast knowing that it's not gonna get too exciting for a while.
You put a voice beat. 5184 cleared you.
But I'll give it a couple minutes.
18.
5181.
Good.
I'll be replacing 85, he's aware.
Someone said I probably headed back to the barn. Yes, I am, unless something pops, and then I will be on it. But in a few minutes, if that doesn't happen, then we will call it a day. Remember that on Wednesday, the CAT team, the younger folks will be out, and they will be doing it this week. We've talked. And on Friday is always Sheriff Bob Fletcher and Pat Scott, Deputy Pat Scott, out at 9/11, starting out on patrol, and
That's suspicious for that soul.
usually
It's on Cook between Farrington and Victoria.
most of the CAT team are also out usually on Fridays. I know I'm off and out, and then at midnight, Deputy Nicole Sparks will be out, and Mark Suki's out, and Nicole does Dick at night at midnight. And don't forget, you can keep putting in your nominations for your favorite or worst, least favorite pothole. The only rule is it's got to be in Ramsey County.
Go ahead.
Otherwise, we don't want to step on any other jurisdictions' pothole patrols. So,
Quarter 1523.
1840. $91.71 and $91.73. The 2400 block of Orchard Lane, 4911 hang up within 5
So
years.
we're gonna- I'm about to pull into the back of the law enforcement center, so we're gonna call it a day. And I appreciate everyone riding around with me today, and I may see you on Wednesday or for sure on Friday.